Now, welcome everybody to the Saturday webinar. It is the 1st of October. We are in San Francisco. At least I think we're in San Francisco. I have no idea where we're actually at. It's been
San Jose, Bill. We're in San Jose.
San Jose. Well, I knew we were somewhere, and it has really been a very interesting time since we kicked off the new company. Which I keep calling it the new company because I think it is a new company. It's got a whole new flavor, a whole new look and feel to it. I think we've got finally done all the shakedown we needed to do, and we're back in business again. And so it's kind of going to be very, very exciting. I think that the last meetings I've had, which have been like almost 2 a day for the last day since we left Las Vegas, have been really, really productive. And so just to kind of give people a flavor for how overall the changes were made, Sherry, I'm going to call on you right off the bat, and you've been with me all along. But just what has the reaction been?
Oh, people are extremely excited, and you could really tell them. As of last night, people were still trying to order.
Yeah.
Non-stop. And for those who have been with us for a couple of months, now that they see the new program, I'm referring to those who weren't in Las Vegas. When you lay out those new executive bonuses, the travel plan, the car plan, the international opening, boy, you could see their eyes. You could see the excitement there. And everyone is now pre-planning on what to do next.
Well, you know, and that's the exciting thing, because up front, when I'm watching people as we're rolling these things out, they get all excited about the product. They look at the product change, and they really like the look. They like all the branding that we've done on it with Eric. His team, I think, has done a phenomenal way of getting us past the idea that we're an air purifier and moved us into the idea that we're basically a device to restore energy back into the air. And you know what? I think people are even starting to learn the elevator message. And I think as they're starting to repeat it back to me, I can just see people taking notes and writing it down so that the next time I ask them, they will not be at all confused about it. Charlie Tan, you have been in all the meetings too. How are your people looking at it?
He's muted.
He's muted.
Yeah.
Charlie, unmute. How come you're not on camera and beautiful like the rest of us? Well, while he's getting unmuted, I'll just kind of fill in for him and basically tell you that he has some wonderful groups down here, especially in the Los Angeles, well, actually all over, and we were filling up the rooms. We've had I think meetings on Tuesday, meetings on Wednesday, meetings on Thursday and Friday, and every place we've gone, we've had absolutely full houses. And I think that probably in that short period of time since we left Las Vegas, we probably talked to between 200 and 300 people, and maybe more than that. I kind of lost track. And we got some good meetings coming up today. But as I'm watching people, it's just like they get excited about one thing and then they get excited about another thing. And you just finally get overloaded, and you can't get any more excited than maximum excited. And then as they sit there and leave, then they start to figure out what it is that they're going to do. Ken and Mary, you've got a good group on, and you've taken the message back home. How's it been? How's it going back there?
Well, you know, that's the challenge when you go to something like this, and we've really never been anything like this, but when you come back, you're the messenger. You got to deliver the message, and you got to do it so that people understand it and don't get confused. You know, we don't get the product trots. What we do is we get the bigger vision. We get an enhanced vision. So our job, as I told you in Las Vegas, is simply to communicate the message so that people can understand it. And Bill, we're getting excitement that we haven't had, you know, and people realize that this is truly an executive level compensation plan, and they shouldn't be afraid or ashamed or anything else to go and share this with anybody, no matter who they are.
Karen Van is very excited. She's texted us until midnight last night or something. I don't know. It was pretty late. And she's making arrangements for meetings. And these should draw pretty well. The meeting is in the headquarters of somebody who's actually running for an office in San Antonio and frequented by people like Tommy Lee Jones. So we think we should probably pull some people into that one. But anyway, that and Lori and Dave have already got a place set up. They're excited. I think that speaking to everyone who was in Las Vegas, I think it was brought out there, our job is now to teach, isn't it? So the teacher learns very well in order to teach reasonably well.
Well, you're absolutely right, and that's the message that's getting out. I think that the changes, kind of fall into general categories, and we had so many changes all at once to try to change. We could have dribbled these things out for a year and done each one, but they all tie together. They all link together. When you change the direction of the product and get it back focused, as we've been trying to do, because I've been out there on the stump preaching that this thing is not an air purifier, even though it cleans the air. The other stuff that it does is so significant that we just had to be able to get out of there. And when I told Eric that, look, we can't keep kind of nibbling around and using terms that air purifiers use, because it allows us to get focused on cleaning the air rather than restoring energy. And once you get into the energy thing, and I think his group did a really, really great job with all of the stuff, all of the presentation materials, showing that now we really are dealing with energy. And I can tell when I'm talking to people and I'm presenting the basic lecture, when they come up with the questions afterwards, they really understand that this thing is all about the energy. It's all about doing that and allowing nature's energy, the natural process, to work for the first time. And it just takes so much fear out of the technology. And so that I think, by taking the fear out of the technology, by answering the questions that people have had, especially with some of the slide presentations that we made available, the slide presentations that show, yes, we take particles out of the air, yes, we can destroy ATP, which is the tracer we use for organic material. No, we don't make ozone. And we finally get down, so there's nothing left to talk about except the fact that indoor air is really bad and outdoor air is really healthy. And if we can make indoor air into outdoor air, that's a good thing. And then you really start talking about, well, what happens when you try the product and it really makes it worthwhile to try to make the product. And then being able to take the packaging, and that's the other thing is Sherry last night did a really nice thing with me. She came up and stood beside me, because when I open the box with a microphone in one hand and try to open that whole house system, I can get all those little boxes right on the floor. Doesn't take me any time at all to drop them down there. And Sherry, I thought that really worked good. Could you see how people were reacting when you opened the box?
Oh boy, they were at awe. They could not believe what they were seeing. And like I've said, they can't wait till they get hold of these products themselves. It was just like Christmas time. They're opening gifts.
Well, it really was. And I don't want to share, but when you look at a box like this, when you see that this thing by itself is a saleable box, a saleable item, and we're putting 4 saleable items in a box and essentially discounting it and making it so that when you open that whole house system up and make a presentation, I think they can see themselves doing that. I think that they can see themselves not having to take out a white box with a magic marker swipe on it and say to this person, this is the most wonderful technology in the world. That's a difficult thing to do. And I think we just basically help people move beyond that and get into the retailability of everything that we are doing. And so, if you just take the product and the product and the retail tools, that's a pretty big shift all in of itself. And then to get into the marketing plan changes and the transition, that's really just gets to be a little bit more overwhelming than we can really kind of think about. So Ken, you were telling me earlier that you had some questions about the way in which we're transitioning to the marketing plan, and some of those. Maybe we can deal with that. I'm going to get something to share up on board with Simon's presentation. Just talk a little bit about what kinds of questions people are having.
Okay, I think the first thing is that people have to realize, Bill, that we're running a parallel product line right now. And the product line that we're accustomed to having, we've had the enhanced version, which is now called the original. And also now we've got the new version. And so I think there's a little confusion about the price change that took place this morning, actually. And go ahead.
Yeah, yes, it did. You know, we didn't start making a price change from this morning. Actually, we began last week because people were able to place orders last week this month, and so that made a big deal. Put the price change just really in simple terms. We are going to continue the original, or what I call the classic version of the product, basically for as long as people really want to have the product. But and the price change went up $5 a unit as of the first of the month. You know, we always give people 30 days on any existing product to announce a price change before we put it into effect, and that's so we don't catch anybody flat-footed making commitments that they're going to be able to produce a product that then they find the price has gone up on. So a month ago we announced that price change. So on the enhanced version, or what we now call the classic version, that has gone up. And the question has been then, well, what about the enrollment package? The enrollment package is also changed. I guess before I go there, I should mention that on the Element series, all 4 of the Element series, of which the Element is the only one available today, actually, that went up an additional $5, so that is now $10. So if somebody's used to the old pricing that we had, as of today, all of the prices on all the old product went up $5, and then if you just add another $5 to it, then you'll get the pricing that we have on the Element series, and that makes it pretty easy to know. And so we're going to run them. And I don't like ever to drop a product because people are used to it, and they're, you know, nobody likes to say, well, I don't know, we be the first one in to get the new product. Maybe there's something wrong with it. So I just will stick with the old product. And so we find we accommodate them. It still has a lot of the operating characteristic, you know, the enhanced version we had for 3 months out there, which basically had most of the operating system that we have in the new Element. There's several things that the Element has that this one doesn't have. And so people can continue on with that. It only has the 1-year warranty. And so for a while, people are going to be able, for this next month, to be able to do both systems. So what happens when somebody enrolls? Well, if you enroll somebody with the old system, that you can still do that, the $399. You can enroll them for the $399, but you're going to get the classic product. You are going to get the with the 1-year warranty. And when you do an R3 or do 3 of them, your R3 package is also going to be of the classic version. So we're just keeping the whole program intact. And on the other hand, if you enroll people with the new program, the new enrollment is not $399 anymore, it is $499. And now you get the product with a 5-year warranty, and you get with all the packaging and all the good stuff that we've got to show the product with. And then when you enroll people with the new package, the new basic enrollment package, then the pricing is then on the R3 program, then you get get this thing. Then you get the new material. Is that clear, Ken?
Yeah, and I think what the confusion is that we haven't gone from one product to another product. We've got 2 product lines now, and so, you know, we got choices. We were on the back office. Cher took me on a tour yesterday, and we went to the order line. You go, of course, to the opportunity, and then you click down and you go down, And it's very clear there that you've got two choices. You can order, as you call, the classic or the original, or you can order the new system, the Element at this point. So you get a choice there. And I guess the confusion is okay, you've got $399 over here, which really is now $419. Is that right, Bill?
That's correct. That's correct,
Okay.
because it went up by the price of the product.
Right. So when you enroll somebody, it's now $419 instead of $399. And on the other side of it or below it there, you've got a choice of enrolling them with the Element, which is $499. And I guess the confusion is that, did they go up $25 a unit? And that's not the case. They went up $10 on the Element. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, I guess, people saying, okay, it went up $10, that's $40. Now, what do I get for the difference?
Okay, so here's the thing about the enrollment. Some time ago, we made an announcement, and people kind of missed it because we didn't stress it hard enough. The enrollment is just basically a separate fee. It's a one-time fee. It is not really just basically, as we started out very, very early on, just an amount that you pay beyond the product to be able to get into the company. And so with the enrollment fee, we give you a free whole house system. And it sounds like you're playing on technicalities, but when it comes to dealing with some of the credit card companies and so forth, it is an essential that we do it that way, as opposed to the way we used to do it, where you just buy the product and then for an additional amount you become a dealer, and we don't do it that way anymore. So the thing was that when we decided that we were going to raise the price, we could have raised it just by the cost of the additional product. But what we want to do is we want to change the face of the company, and we want to really start doing some more exciting things. Last month we really drove a lot of people crazy because we launched an on-demand as a gift for doing a certain thing. Well, that doesn't cost nothing. That costs quite a bit of money to do that, but we want to do that and create excitement. So in order to be able to have to make this thing all make economic sense, we decided, we're just going to go up an additional few dollars, go up to $500. And then that will help us be able to fund having different kinds of specials every month, something special, some kind of a new thing to be able to afford to keep some excitement. In doing that, we realized that kind of was putting stress on people who don't have a lot of money to begin with, the very people that we're trying to change their lives. And so at the same time we did that, we also instituted a two-pay for the basic enrollment. And the reason we did the two-pay was because we realized that whether we went up to $399 all the way up to $440, both those numbers are really difficult for a lot of people to reach. And so by putting in the two-pay, that allowed everybody to get into the business for $275, which is less cash to be able to get in, with a second payment due later. And because of the saleability of the equipment, the retailability of the equipment, I absolutely believe by getting somebody in at $275, and they've got essentially 30 days to be able to either sell 2 of them or 4 of them at the $140 that we raised the retail price, that is actually going to be easier for them to be able to get into business, and we're going to be able to provide more tools and more excitement by getting the price up to $500. So people shouldn't make comparison from one or the other by just changing the equipment, because you are really getting a lot more. You're getting things with 5-year warranties. You're getting things with enhanced packaging. You're getting all these other things that the cost is raised up on. So it really goes up beyond just the price of the product.
Well, Bill, if I'm correct, it also includes a lot of compensation enhancements. And, when you think about it, now the two-pay only applies to the new Element. Is that correct?
That's correct. On the new enrollment system with the Element in it, it does not apply to the classic system.
Yeah, for not much more than the cost of the investment of enrolling, you now can go to a senior dealer pack with a two-pay, and that then gives you, one for you to use and 3 for you to demonstrate. So I think this is a great stepping point where people can get into business without a huge investment. And what kind of business can you get into for $4.99? I mean, you know, it's really, you get the system, but you get all the other stuff. You get the website that we don't pay monthly fees on or anything like that. We don't ever have to pay renewal. Once you're in, you're in. Once you hit a level, you never drop back. There are just so many enhancements. Plus now we've got what you're fixing to talk about.
Exactly. So now, you know, we have to, obviously we need to really just start getting packages that help reward people. So one of the things that you get with this thing, with the new enrollment system, is you're starting to get the help of the most senior leaders in the company. Let me explain that a little bit. Because of the fact that we have got a program that's based on people succeeding, we have very few people drop out. It's really hard to just give up and get out of the program. And so everything we have to do has to be on people earning money through other people succeeding, not other people failing. And as I've tried to explain, I've looked at so many network marketing plans, including our old Alpine plan, by the way, and that without realizing it, people, when people failed, other people benefited, and people found themselves in the very awkward position of hoping their friend was going to fail so that the income that they had would pass up through them in the roll-up kinds of money. And that's not the way, to me, that's the wrong way to look at it. You have to look at, see what we can do to make people happy. And so because people don't get out, eventually what happened is that as the organizations get deeper and deeper and deeper, people start not being able to get income for going out and helping other people become successful. So you may find that you have to go down 10, 12 lines, and there's somebody just getting into the company that really needs the help of a senior manager someplace, but they have no economic benefit. They can't get paid for their time to go do that, and they need to take care of themselves first. So we said, you know what? The executive bonus system that we have should reward our leaders for doing leadership stuff. To be the true leaders and to be the inspiration and to reach down deep into their organizations and help people. So we put together an executive bonus system out of part of the funds that we are accumulating with the new enrollment system, because now we're going to get a lot more people enrolling, and we're putting these people together. And quite frankly, the enrollment system doesn't cover the size of the benefit package that we came up with, but it is huge. The purpose of it really is able to do that. So if you kind of like what we can kind of do is walk over what that system really is. It pays up to $500 every time a new distributor is created in this company. And creation of a new distributor is usually not done by one person. It's a cooperative effort of everybody else. So we pay out a total of $500, and we pay out $100 to the first sales manager level that's qualified to get a check of each rank. And that's pretty good. And at the same time, we do the same thing with people that we pay out $2,500 when we create a new sales manager, and that pays out basically $500 a month for each of the $500 to each of the ranks in that particular month that's qualified to be able to get a check. So I'm going to just show you another slide here. It makes it a little bit better. So the bonus is paid to the sales managers and above, to the first rank of each upline, and then it compresses up to the next rank if somebody's not qualified to get it. And here's basically what it shows how we do it. So that when somebody becomes a new distributor, the sales manager gets $100 because they obviously had something to do with it. They have to be qualified to get it, to get a bonus of any kind to get that. The senior manager gets 100, the coordinating manager gets 100, the key manager gets 100, and the master manager gets 100. And so we paid just to that very first rank. And side by side on that, you see that we're paying out 500 at each of those levels to get up to 2,500. And it probably makes more sense if you look at the next little chart we have here. You see at the very bottom, there's where distributors created, and you see that the sales manager at that level on the chart, column number 1, he gets his $100. The first senior manager, he gets his $100. But there's a second senior manager right above that first senior manager, and he's not going to get anything because he is the second one, and we only pay the first of a rank. Coordinating manager gets 100, the key gets 100, and the master gets 100. So that really tells that senior manager that didn't get anything, he wants to get to be a coordinated one manager, and the coordinator wants to get to be a key, and the key wants to get to be a master. And so these amounts of money are really encouragement for people that are leading and building, and also to build their own organization. Let's just kind of look at number 2 just to get a flavor of this thing. Column 2, you see what happened here is the sales manager created a distributor, and the senior manager above, for whatever reason, didn't get qualified that month. He didn't get a bonus check, and so he didn't get anything. But the senior manager above, now this time he did get it, and the coordinating and so forth on up. So you have to qualify to get a check, to qualify to get this bonus system. And then the other 2, in number 3, over here, we see the other example of where the sales manager is qualified and he got it, the senior sales manager got it. The second senior manager didn't get it because the first manager did. The coordinating manager, for some reason, did not get a bonus check. He didn't get qualified. And so that rolled up to the key manager. So the key manager then got 200 instead of the 100 he would have got. And then finally the master got 100. And then the last example is how that all of the bonuses will roll up to the first person qualified to get them. So when number 4, that distributor was actually created by the master manager. Master manager got all $500 of the bonus, and that same kind of thing shows through. So this really allows people to reach down deep into the organization. Sherry, we were kind of looking at your organization because you were one of the people that was really involved in helping many generations down deep in your organization, and even so. How many distributors do you think you were creating at any one time, and what would have that meant in bonus check?
Well, initially in the first few months, I think we were creating at least or promoting at least 20, 30 distributors a month. And of course, as the organization grew bigger, we were actually promoting as much as about 40, 50 distributors a month. And then for the sales managers, there was a month we promoted at least 8. And then the previous month it was 6 sales managers. The minimum will be about 4 to 5 sales managers per month. And if now I put this into this dollar amount, this is really mind-boggling. This amount is so huge that any leader really will have to think twice before passing this up. And I'm already in this business. Every night, I'll be counting.
But you know, just when you say a lot of money, you know, it doesn't take very much of this to add up to another $20,000 or $40,000.
Oh no, not
bonus.
at all. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's that. See, this is the point. I think that we have got the best lower level compensation plan anybody's ever come up with. I think our dealers make more money earlier and can take and build their business any way they want to. I think the thing that was really missing, that we've kind of waiting until we actually got to the point that we had leaders. Sorry, Sherry, you didn't get in on those bonuses, but now when somebody comes in and is a real leader and willing to train and willing to put the effort, because it's not easy to be a sales manager, and you have to help and train and retrain, and sometimes people get confused, and the quality of that leadership extending way down deep in the organization gets paid like true leadership. And we start adding it in a different, you know, supposing the additional bonus only adds up to $40,000, you know, that's $500,000 a year. That is a significant bonus structure, and I'm thrilled to death. Somebody says, "You really going to pay that out?" You darn right, I'm going to pay that out, because that means I've got a lot of distributors coming on board that have been trained by experienced people, because they not only want to see that person get to be a distributor, they want to see them get all the way to sales manager. And so now, instead of people becoming orphaned because somebody didn't get the right amount of training, everybody in that upline has got a vested interest in making that person successful. And I think that gets us right back on course of where we want to be, is we want to have a company that's based on people succeeding and not on failing. Cher, what do you think?
Bill, I think this is such an amazing, genius way to light up the world with hope and prosperity for people. I mean, when you look at what's available to people, when they really study this, and you heard Sherry, you know, even from the beginning when she joined over a year ago. Sherry, can you imagine what will happen now with where we're poised to explode? What will happen? Not just to you, but what about all those excited new people?
Especially for the new sales managers.
Yes.
They have the world in their hands. And if I was them, I wouldn't miss a bit.
Well, Sherry, you know, you missed out on a lot of those bonuses, but you got a lot of other stuff. And one of the things that Ken, I think you kind of glossed over just a little bit, and not glossed over. I think the other really significant thing that we have added in to this program goes back just a few steps here, but the whole idea that this has now got an end to it. You know, people don't like to play a game that there is no end to. If you're going to have to work and work, and as long as you're able to work, everything is great. But I think the one change that we made in the qualification benefits has got to just be exciting to everybody, because here we have a 5-step program: sales manager, senior manager, coordinating manager, key manager, and master manager. Only 5 steps. But look at what we did to the thing, because by taking the qualifications in order to get a group qualification to get a commission check, which means basically what you have to do every month, your maintenance requirement, we've taken that thing from the sales manager, had a 10,000 group PV, which is high, because we want them to build. We want them to feel that they need to get more and more people. And if they're building at the time they're manager and working towards senior manager, that's not a big problem. But when they don't, you know, that they're going to have to fall back on the R3, which means that they're going to be building again, or a certificate. But to be able to drop that down in massive chunks, we didn't just kind of nibble it away. We went from 10,000 to 7,500 to 5,000 to 2,500. And finally, I think the amazing thing is that I've heard all the life from my key leaders in Alpine and everywhere else, isn't there some point where we don't have to have a maintain? Well, master managers in this company, if you reach that and you get 10 legs topped by a sales manager, you have basically a lifetime qualification. And I don't know, I've never seen a plan that would actually be able to get us to that position. I don't know, Ken, have you ever seen a plan that does that?
No, I was explaining this to somebody this week that what you've done is you've taken a good good compensation plan, which we had, you know, back in the old company, and you've turned it into an excellent program. And, you know, there reaches a point to where here, you know, you're working out of love. You're not working out of money, because money follows it. And when you can afford to go help people, and that's what you put in here, then you're likely to do that. And so, you know, when you reach that, and I told you very frankly that our goal is not to have 3 sales managers or 6 sales managers. Our goal is we're working every month to have 10 active and working legs in our business. And that's pretty simple in Texas. You got 10 legs working, you're going to become master manager somewhere along the way. And that ought to be everybody's goal. We were getting Gary Davis started out in California yesterday. Actually, he got a brand new baby. And so, you know, he couldn't get to one of the meetings, but I was telling him yesterday, I said, Gary, excuse me, I don't want you to look at sales manager. I want you to look at master manager. Let's structure this right now so that a year from now, we look back and say, wow, you know, We're not sales managers, we're coordinate managers, or we're key managers, or whatever we are, but we're looking at master manager, because that's really truly where that kicks in. And when you don't have to maintain that volume, you're free to go do whatever's important to you to do. And I think that's so important. And also, just touching, don't want to steal any of your thunder here, but touching on the car program, I've never seen a car program where the company guarantees payments. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Well, I don't know, Ken, you probably can't remember the old original Alpine program that we did. Sherry, you can probably remember it. And that was one of the best car programs around, because we really wanted to have something that people could really show off their success. And I remember when people first talked to me about a car program, and I said, well, what can they get for that? And they had some, vans and some things like that. And I said, man, well, why don't we put a little more money with it so they get a classy car so people know it? And they said, well, and at that point was the idea. We said, why don't you just let them pick any car they want? Well, they might pick an expensive one. Yeah, well, then make it a little more difficult to get it if that's a big problem. And so basically that's what we did here. We said, first of all, we absolutely believe that we want our people to be successful and to have a car. The other thing I found out, and one of the things that resonated last night when I was telling people about the car program, was that everybody here has probably had the experience of winning a car and being all excited until they found out they also won a lease payment. That when that lease payment all of a sudden went, holy cow, I got stuck with this thing now for 2 years. Yes, I would never have done that had I not won the car. And now you've turned a good thing into a bad thing. And so we tried to figure out what we could do to keep that kind of a thing from happening. And, we came up with, I think, a kind of a very clever idea in that we allow people to earn through car bucks. And, car bucks we can apply to everything from volume to I think we've got a slide in here. Kind of shows all the different kinds of things that you can get for car bucks. Volume, personal recruiting, R3s, senior dealer pro packs, everyone carries this amount of car bucks. And when you take a look at at all those things, then we also took in for the executive bonus plan, the development auto miles, which are basically for getting new distributors, new sales managers. And look at that. Those people run up. A key master manager, every time a sales manager is created in their organization, gets 450 car bucks. So we really are even helping our top people who don't probably need that much help, but be absolutely sure that they're driving around in the finest car that they can get. And then on top of that, put in some additional things so that people don't get burned. This is probably where people are going to start with because the senior manager is where first time you can get a car. You got to accumulate 15,000 points. Not that hard, but you're going to have to work. You're going to have an organization to be able to do that. And once you get to the 15,000, then we will get a lease and get an honest business lease. You can't just have one of your nieces or nephews lease his personal car for $500, and that's not a real thing. We got to see that it's a real lease on a real car, and that's going to happen. But the important thing is, now you've got to maintain that. So every month that you have 1,500 car bucks, you're going to have that payment made. And what happens is actually we take the money out of the 15,000 car buck that you started with and replace it with the 1,500 each month. And so by the time you get to the year, end of the year, you will actually have more car bucks and be able to move up. But that's fine and dandy. But what happens if you're not able to make a qualification in a particular month? And rather than that becoming a negative and a real painful experience, we said any 2 months in that 2-year lease period, and any 1 or 2 months in a row, you can use it twice. The company will just make that bonus payment for you, pay the $500, even if you haven't qualified. And that takes a lot of pressure out of the system. It allows people to work the business and not try to work their payment. So that they have to do things that are going to promote their business and grow their business instead of doing what's necessary to be able to make a $500 a month car payment. And Sherry, I think that's probably pretty unusual as well, isn't it?
Almost definitely. I have been in other programs before. I've been awarded cars in other companies before, but we never had this payment assurance. It's like you really have to watch out for every single month. And this really gives a lot of leaders now peace of mind that even if they have a beautiful car, they could actually just really enjoy it. Because when you're thinking of monthly payments and you're always thinking of that every month, it's not so beautiful anymore.
That's for sure. It gets to be hanging around your neck. And so many people that get into networking, the family's kind of divided. One spouse is really apprehensive about getting in. I don't want you to be in the business anymore. You know how much money it cost us the last company we were in, and all of that stuff. And to be able to take that pressure away so that that lease payment doesn't come up and bite you just at exactly the wrong time is not only going to help families stay together, but I think it's going to encourage people to really get after the business and focus on the business.
That's right.
And I don't know what you get for $500, but I think it's pretty decent. But I know that $800 would probably get you something. Does that get you a Texas truck down there in Texas?
Yes, sir. A nice truck.
I was looking at that helicopter. That's not a bad idea either.
I know. So when you get to coordinating manager, the price tag goes up. You got to get 25,000. And you have to do 2,500 a month. But as an executive in the executive bonus plan, if you've got 100 people in your organization that are making distributor, you probably are going to have enough car points right there so that you really can focus, leaders can focus on working on helping people become distributors rather than focusing on having to try to do retailing or or something in their organization. You're really getting into that help thing. And so then you get 3 months instead of 2 months. We sweeten it up a little bit. And you know what? I suspect by the time that a coordinating manager gets there, we probably will never have anybody use that assurance, but I still think it's a good thing to have because you never know.
That's right.
And this is the one that is just driving people crazy as they start to think about what's going on, because this is for your key manager, and this is why you want to become a key manager. And when you get to be a key manager, you can have basically any car because there is no limit to the monthly payment.
Well, Bill, remember when we were on our way from Los Angeles to the Northern California area, we were looking at all the cars passing us by, because Curly and I were trying to pick which car we want. And then when we got to Harry's Ranch, there goes a row of Tesla chargers, charging places. And I said, oh boy, it's like it's meant for us.
You're already picking out your Tesla charging place. I guess you got in mind to be a manager.
Carly has picked his spot.
Oh, that's pretty good. No use having a program that's not worth it. This is pretty cool. I may have to come back and be a dealer or something because I don't know that I'm going to be able to drive that kind of a car. And one of you guys have to adopt me or something when we get all this thing. But here's the thing, because you are a master manager now, you can have any car you want. And because you are a master manager and there's no qualification requirement, those payments are guaranteed for 2 years. You don't have to wonder about, am I going to have to pick up that payment? It is already guaranteed for you that it's going to be picked up for those next 4 months. And when you get all done, you can turn your dirty old used Tesla in and get a new one. And that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really anxious to see what kind of cars people come up with. And we're just kind of running out of a little time here, and I want to get over to something else. That little piggy bank said, if you run 22,000 group PV, you basically will have your $1,500 a month monthly requirement. And that's all you did was just basically PV. So you can earn a car just on volume. We came up with a travel program, do it exactly the same way. You earn travel dollars for all kinds of things, travel miles, I guess it is. And again, with the upper level people, we start giving multiples of kinds of things. So you get it on PV and recruiting and senior dealer pro packs. And we're going to put some extra special kinds of things in there too. So when we have an event, we'll award travel points for people coming. And then on the conversion of it, you're going to be able to almost anything that you want to do. It's not limiting it to just specific kinds of things. And so we're going to change the cash-in rate so that for personal travel, you've got one conversion rate of 4 to 1 on personal travel, and on vacations 4 to 1. But when you get to local meetings, then it's only 15 to 1. And so you basically are able to get bigger and bigger, more and more things. So when we have a company event, we may say, okay, we'll do dollar for dollar, dollar for point. So all of your travel will be picked up at one time. And so the things that we want, we know are going to help business, we're going to have higher conversion rates for. And as we start to get special deals, and as we get bigger and are able to pass them down the line, people are going to be able to go anywhere. And I know, Sherry, you've kind of got an idea that you would like to head maybe down to the Philippines and take a vacation on company money.
Yes, I'm already planning that for 2017.
I think this is great. Well, the important thing is she's going to be down there. My guess is that she will probably do more than vacation because we're announcing right now that we have a way to do
That's
international.
right. Mm-hmm.
And so all these things tie together. The travel ties together, the car ties together, the international ties together. So we're going to be able to allow anybody in any country with some restrictions, because some countries have got weird laws, but for the most part, anybody in any country can join our organization. We're going to have one organization. Everything will be in the U.S. We're not going to have a separate marketing program in one country and a different one in another country, because quite frankly, we can't afford to do that. It costs millions to put up bonds. You have to put up warehousing. You have to put up distribution. You've got control problems. You've got more regulations than you can think of. But using the internet and the internet system, we're going to be able to recruit anybody in any country. So you can recruit somebody in the Philippines and they can turn right around and recruit somebody in Texas. And so it's basically, there's one big genealogy, there's one big company, but it is basically a worldwide company. And so we're doing some things. Obviously, it can't be quite exactly the same program, but it's pretty close. So essentially, everybody can sign up, and we do two things. We ship product, and what we'll do is we will collect the taxes and the duty when the order is placed, and then we pay DHL, who will be largely that's going to be our delivery agent, and they will then pay the government so that nobody goes to jail. And they make the delivery, the product, and so they're assured that the product actually gets delivered. That's pretty seamless. And then the other part comes about, well, how do you pay people? How do you pay people in all these countries? And how do you know that the money is actually going to go to who it needs to go to? Some people don't have bank accounts. Well, very simple, international debit card. And it makes it perfect because at some point we're going to be going to being paying commission checks indirectly by direct deposit and debit cards anyway. But by putting it onto a debit card, anybody can take an international debit card and use it for anything they want to use it for. And so they can buy product with it from us, or they can spend it for whatever they want to spend it for, but we can pay them by putting money on that debit card. So and so we can put commissions and we can pay the commissions and everything. That's the only thing I can think of that's really different, is that when it comes to the R3 and the mailbox money, it's not practical to send the mailbox money anymore. But what it will be done is it'll be added to the bonus checks. When you get an R3, it will go out with the next order because the freight on a single R3 is kind of prohibiting. And so I don't know how else we can do it. We just went worldwide, and we've now included every country in the world as being able to buy product from us and to be able to service that. And I would guess, Sherry, that probably amongst most of the people that we've talked to out here in Los Angeles and San Francisco, been about the most exciting thing we did.
Oh, yes. This is something they never really dreamt of a few months ago. I personally did not think that we were going to go international after a year. I was thinking a little longer, but with this now, everybody's just thinking of how big and how fast they could grow with our company. And like you promised, it's now delivered. So we'll wait a few more months.
Well, I think I think we've done pretty good. When I said that we invited people out to the leadership conference in Las Vegas, we said, look, we would need the leaders out there because we're going to make a change in the direction of this company. We're going to make a change in the compensation, the product, and we put it all together. And I think number one, we had a great convention. I think that the tone that was set by the convention, it was a class convention. Everybody went away feeling really, really good, really pleased, really appreciated. And I know that it's certainly going to be the launching point that we're going to be used to build with. The reason we did it, obviously, is we had a plan that says that we're going to get 2 million systems, and it was not happening with the old plan. And when something not working, you can just either keep beating on it or you can go ahead and change it and make something that will work. And I think that the changes that we made with the experience that we had has put us into that realm of being the big company that we said we're going to be in 2 years. We will be the dominant company in this industry. And Ken, I think that you agree with me that there is no limit to how quickly we can grow at this point.
No, and there are no excuses left, Bill. You've taken all the excuses away. So now if somebody's serious about building a business, there's no reason not to. Bill, can we introduce you to an old friend? You ever seen that?
You see here.
That's an 880. And people wonder whether or not you build stuff at last. I don't know when the last 880 was built. Sherry, you may know it, but
I would say that would be probably around
Oh, that's a long time ago.
90
It's
something.
outline.
Yeah.
well, we went to get Mary some new glasses last week, and our glass man, whatever you call him, has every product we've ever had, I guess. And so he just really got excited about the Aerostore system. I walked in, didn't even say anything to him. I just started plugging them in around his clinic. And this thing was sitting up on top of the shelf and it wasn't running. And so after we finished our deal, he certainly bought the system, and it's okay to retail, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, that is permissible. Yes, it is.
and so he pointed at this thing. He says, it hadn't run for years. Just take it. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take it and see if I can get it running. It's amazing. The thing still runs.
No kidding. That is absolutely amazing. Well, guys, I have kind of lost contact with the meeting. I've been having trouble with the internet here, and so I just kind of like to wrap it up. I just would encourage absolutely everybody to use this time right now to really get out there and explode. Ken, we're going to be down in your part of the country, and I know we've got Dave and Lori on. I've not been able to see who's on here live. Share who all we got on the call right now.
Oh, let me take a peek here. We have, goodness, okay, Hong in Houston, Caesar in Houston, Cindy Riaz in Louisiana, Dave and Lori Miller in Fort Worth, Melvin Rickstein, William Learning, and lots of other people with numbers that I don't recognize. We're happy to have everybody here, and we've got a great October planned. Bill, you're going to be a busy boy.
I just noticed that all of the people that I considered leaders that we invited to Las Vegas, I'm going to be visiting in the very near future. I think our judgment about leaders and who's going to be the leaders was very accurate.
Yes.
I'm really pleased and excited about that. But here's the thing. We've only got 2 or 3 states that we really have any significant presence in at all. And I think what's going to happen is that as the word gets out about this plan, you're going to have to start beating people off with a stick, because there aren't very many places that people can go, have a real product, have control of their product, clear from the manufacturing, from the conceptual stage to the manufacturing to the distribution. Nobody can mess with it. Nobody can control it. We got total control of our future. We pay out new dealers, so you're not so that the people that you get into the business earn money, and then at the top end for those leaders who are willing to put the work in on it. I think that we're going to I think we're going to have more success than we had in Alpine. We're going to make more people very wealthy and successful, and be able to reach a point of retirement that they would never have reached in any other company. And that's a pretty good goal.
Bill, it struck me that we're sort of, all of those who wish to be are sort of ground level executives in a brand new type of Amazon. What do you think about that?
Wow.
No, that's a good point. Really good point. I yesterday, for the first time, took a look at the group picture that we took in Las Vegas. I saw a lot of happy faces there.
Yes, there were a lot of happy faces there, Bill. And, you know, to sum up what you just shared with us, we all will have a trophy on wheels, as we used to call our bonus cars back in the day. And baby, you can drive my car. That's all I can say.
All right. Well, Cher and Sherry and Ken and Mary, I really appreciate you being on and helping me with the call this morning. I look forward to doing a lot of great stuff. This is going to be a lot of fun. So I'll just kind of wrap it up. Say, everybody have a great week. God bless every single one of you, and keep praying for us and the leadership of the company. Thank you, guys.
Amen. Thank you for your leadership.
Amen.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.